What happens when a defendant gets shot in the courtroom?
What? This happened? Like, was the courtroom security check just full of blind people? Who was running security, Helen Keller? Stevie Wonder? What's good, YouTube? Today we're gonna be looking at when kids attack their parents' killers in court. For a kid to crash out on you, I want to see how insane kids could get in the presence of their parents' killer. Who knows, during this situation, the kids might have aged a bit more and got angry. We gonna see how it plays out. Without further ado, let's get started. Yo! You know it's bad when 4 police officers can't stop. Even this lawyer looks stunned. Damn. Oh. Wait, this is the victim's son? Why does the killer look younger? Yeah, no, okay, after that, the court just gotta be adjourned. There is not a single person in the courtroom that can stop him. Yo! What type of WWE ass move is that? Damn.
This is 62-year-old Dale Williams.
62 years old? Yo, how are you committing murders at the age of 62? Like, I feel like that's the age where you gotta be looking at retirement homes.
Who was facing murder charges in Youngstown, Ohio. In June 2017,
okay.
Williams ran his ex-girlfriend, Elizabeth Pledger Stewart's car off the road and caused it to crash.
Okay.
Williams then shot and killed the 46-year-old mother of 2. After his arrest,
Why?
Williams pleaded guilty to aggravated murder and weapons charges. Facing the possibility of life in prison, Williams appeared at his sentencing, where the victim's 2 sons decided to deliver some justice of their own.
Good. And also, why would you even do that? I'm assuming you're broke and you needed a place to stay and now you got prison for the rest of your life, so you don't gotta worry about sleeping anywhere. Oh, he's getting dragged about 30 feet across the whole court. I love to see it.
30-year-old Anthony Dees jumped across the table, evaded deputies, and dragged Williams down by his feet. Then, 23-year-old Jerome Stewart ran over to help his brother, and the two delivered a barrage of punches and kicks to the defendant.
Okay, I like this. This is like that triple threat tag team match that I be seeing in WWE. Honestly, I feel like we need new laws in America. A law where guilty killers have to fight in an Armageddon, in a Roman Coliseum against the victims. Just let the victims just have like a couple punches in. Just rough them up a little bit, just for a little payback. I feel like that would make the world a better place.
As deputies struggled to contain the brothers, one officer pulled out a taser and shot Stewart.
Damn. You should have got the other dude instead, though. Leave who alone, though? If I'm the victim's brother, I'm gonna be like, yo, rough him up a bit more, bro. Get 2 more punches in.
Williams was then escorted from the courtroom as he wiped the blood off his face. Finally,
that was
the
deep.
2 aggrieved sons were taken into custody.
Y'all better not arrest them, bro. Because I feel like anybody would do that if their mother passed away. They would probably even do worse. Y'all better free them the next day.
They faced charges of assault, contempt of court, and obstruction of justice.
How long?
As for Williams, he was later sentenced to 23 years to life in prison for murdering his ex-girlfriend.
Yo, this mugshot is seriously terrifying. Yo, I never thought. I actually feel bad for the people that gotta take these mugshots. Imagine having to stare at this photo. Imagine having to tell this man to look at the camera. That's a jump scare. Especially taking this at like, what, 2 a.m.? I'd probably resign the next day. You are so chopped.
While Dale Williams was viciously assaulted by the sons of the woman he killed, what happens when a defendant gets attacked by his own son?
Huh? Damn, he
like
is
in the
crafty.
case of Vashon Flowers, who was on trial for murder in Muskegon County, Michigan.
Okay.
In May 2019, Flowers allegedly shot and killed his wife, Jamie, at their
What's insane about this is, imagine actually loving somebody, getting to know somebody. You know, like, the love sparks just connecting. Love each other so much that nobody else is important. Just to end up them. How does that make sense? How is it someone you love, you hate so much that you have to end them?
Muskegon Heights home after the two had an argument over cigarettes.
Cigarettes? You ended somebody's life over cigarettes? Over getting a hole in your neck? Over talking like R2-D2? Either way, if anything, they were probably trying to help you. No one should be smoking cigarettes in the big 2025.
Initially, the couple fought for more than a day, after which
Over
police arrived and
cigarettes?
separated the two. Flowers left, but hours later he returned, kicked in the door, and shot Jamie 4 times.
Over a pack of what? Cigarettes? Over some cancer sticks? Reevaluate your life choices, bro. You're gonna serve life in jail over some cigarettes.
The 46-year-old then turned himself in and was charged with open murder. Jamie's daughter, Paris, who witnessed the whole incident, testified in court.
He got down on the ground and started choking my mother. Actually,
Wow.
I heard, "You don't have to do this, Vashon. Please don't do this. You
Wow.
don't have to do this." And then I heard gunshots.
Do you recall how many you heard?
Over
4.
cigarettes?
I got up and I left out of the room. She was sitting straight up against the wall.
Did you observe some blood?
Yes, on her shirt. Gunshots, bullet holes in her shirt, and blood.
Imagine having to see your mom beg for her life before it gets taken away. And you know her daughter is in the room and you still end up taking her life. You gotta be so selfish. You're just the scum of the earth. Some of the ways these murderers take away their victims, we need to take those murderers out the same way. Matter of fact, make it 8 bullets.
But it was Jamie's son who decided to take matters into his own hands.
Okay, James Bond. Damn, they need 5
During a
people.
hearing, 21-year-old London Jones was seated in the gallery with the rest of his siblings when suddenly he leaped over the barricade and headed straight towards his mother's killer. Alert deputies were able to tackle him just in the nick of time.
Damn. Y'all shouldn't have let him get like 2 minutes at least. Let him get like 3
Eventually,
minutes.
the grieving son was restrained and removed from the courtroom. Ultimately, Flowers was convicted of Jamie's murder and sentenced to life in prison.
Good.
While Vashon Flowers faced his son's fury, what happens when a victim's son attacks his mother's killer? We had
With
to
a chair? Realize how a lot of these are when suspect takes victims' mothers away. Moral of the story, stop taking people's mothers. Stop taking people's, it doesn't matter. Stop taking people's family members.
Springfield, Massachusetts, where a hearing is underway for accused serial killer Alfred Gayner. According to reports, Gayner terrorized the city of Springfield, where he assaulted and brutally murdered 9 women from
Yo! In the span of less than a year. Do these people just have trouble talking to women and making relationships that you have to end their life?
1995 to 1998. Gayner was
RIP.
finally arrested after his DNA matched with evidence from the crime scenes. Now at a
Good.
hearing, sitting in the gallery was one of Gayner's victim's sons, Eric Downs. 3 deputies surrounded Gayner, but it wouldn't be enough for what was to follow.
What happened?
Mr. Gayner's being held in extreme conditions of confinement. He's being held without right to bail. Some agreement.
You know he got aura when everybody's running away from the court. Is he that powerful? That was a good chair hit. You know, next time, grab a hammer. I think a hammer would suffice better.
Without warning, Downs jumped over the barricade and launched into the defendant. Gayner's sister tried to hold back Downs, but not before the grieving son delivered one final blow. A deputy led Gayner to safety, while other officers attempted to restore order.
Yo, I don't know how some of these officers could do it, bro. One thing about me, I will never protect somebody who ended 7 women's lives, bro. There's no way. If anything, I'll probably help the person hit you. Especially with some of these lawyers and how they defend people that kill like 20 plus people. How? Is the money worth it? I know there's probably a public defendant, but no, I can't. I'm not representing you, period.
Downs was later charged with assault and contempt of court. As for Gayner, he eventually
Life.
pleaded guilty to all the murders
Death
and
penalty.
was sentenced to 8 consecutive life terms.
No. We need 8 consecutive electric chairs. We need 8 million volts on his ass. No, he took away 8 lives, take away his 8 legs. Let's take away 8 limbs. What about that? I feel like that's more fair.
If one brother can cause so much damage in court, then how does it compare to 2 brothers attacking a defendant?
Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy? Is this some WWE tag team combo?
Like in the case of 24-year-old Jason Howard.
What did he
who was
do?
facing multiple murder charges in Warren, Ohio. In 2006, Howard was arrested after he allegedly shot and killed his ex-girlfriend, 27-year-old Jamila West, at her home in Columbus before shooting and suffocating her 3 children to death.
You really wanted that squad wipeout? What's wrong with you? Yo, R.I.P. the whole family. Yo, what did the kids do? Why did you have to take them too?
Now, at a pretrial hearing, things are about to go out of control.
All right. Damn. Yo, where are the officers at?
Without warning, the victim's brother, 30-year-old Lewis West, attacked Howard and delivered blow after blow on the shackled defendant.
To the back of the head, too. You know what that means.
Sergeant Phil Eckenrode was the only one standing between his prisoner and the distraught brother.
You know damn well he cannot hold him back.
It's my job to try to protect my prisoner to the best of my ability.
With Sergeant Eckenrode's hands already full, another sibling, 29-year-old Sultan Honzu, dived through the doorway and started hammering Howard.
And he's handcuffed, so that's good. Damn, look at him. Russian. Bop. Bop. And you got another. Oh, you got 2 other people.
The situation was threatening to go out of hand, but thankfully, Sergeant Eckenrode gained control of the courtroom, and the brothers were arrested. They were later charged with assault. Howard was not seriously injured, barring a few scratches. His murder
So you get free punches and you can't scratch him up. Come on, bro. We gotta see better.
charges were later dropped based on a lack of evidence, while 2 brothers delivered their own
Charges dropped? So who was the one that ended the family then?
version of courtroom justice. What happens when a distraught teenager lunges at the defendant? Like in the case of James Douglas Gonzalez, who
What
was
happened?
on trial for murder in Mobile, Alabama. Back in 1992, Gonzalez arrived at a party where he reportedly shot and killed 18-year-old Matthew Hall after the two got into an altercation. Gonzalez
Why do you want to end anybody at a party? Don't end anybody, but, okay, that sounds crazy. Why can't it be like a depressing part of their life? Like, if someone was to catch me, come catch me like during a school final test. Don't catch me having fun.
later claimed he shot Matthew in self-defense. During trial, the victim's father, Matthew Hall Sr., and younger brother, Kevin, waited anxiously in the gallery for the jury to return with their verdict. Eventually, the jury returned and found Gonzalez guilty of a lesser misdemeanor charge of criminally negligent homicide. Feeling robbed of justice, Kevin Hall decided to take matters into his own hands.
Good. I'd also probably point my efforts towards all the people who voted too. Damn. How much officers do you need?
Without warning,
Damn.
Kevin jumped from his seat, leaped over a barricade, and charged at the defendant, landing a punch to his face. His father, Hall
he got
Sr.,
something.
soon joined the melee. It took several officers and onlookers to subdue the two. Spectators were left shaken. Gonzalez's mother and grandmother broke down. After the attack, the Halls were charged with contempt of court and sentenced to 5 days in jail.
At least it wasn't longer than that. That's good.
As for Gonzalez, he got just 1 year in prison for the murder
Only? No! I can see why they got mad. A year only. How do you mistakenly just pop somebody?
of Matthew Hall. While Kevin Hall decided to deliver some brotherly justice, what happens when a defendant gets shot in the courtroom?
What? This happened? Like, was the courtroom security check just full of blind people? Who was running security, Helen Keller? Stevie Wonder? GG's. Where are y'all holding this court? In like a back office? This is like a job interview, not a court.
We head south of the border to São José de Belmonte, Brazil, for the murder trial of 38-year-old Francisco Cledivaldo Mariano de Moura. According to reports, in 2012, de Moura shot Francisco Alves at his home in Lagoa Alexandre after the two got into an argument over a donkey. Now, a jury session was underway with the victim's 27-year-old son, Cristiano Alves Terto, sitting at the back, while the defendant sat in front of the courtroom. As Terto stood up, he was about to put his sinister plan into motion.
That's what you call taking justice into your own hands, literally. I don't recommend this though. I don't think this is good. Even the judge? Was the judge paid? Damn, did he run out of like bullets or something?
Initially, a woman tried to stop Terto, but the distraught son pulled out a .38 caliber revolver and fired 2 shots directly toward Demora, just a few feet away from a juror and an attorney. The rest of the courtroom descended into chaos as the vengeful Terto unleashed another volley of shots at the defendant from point-blank range. Demora ran for his life, desperately trying to seek cover from the hail of bullets. After emptying his 6-shooter, Terto furiously bashed Demora with the butt of his gun. The gun-wielding son then fled the courtroom. He was arrested the following day and charged with attempted murder.
Was it really worth it? Imagine all the people that actually went to work that day for like jury duty and stuff. They're probably never gonna come back to court and helping again. Hell nah, I'd be damned if I had to help decide if someone is guilty or not just to risk my own life.
Miraculously, Demora managed to stand up behind the judge's desk before slumping to the ground. He was rushed to a local hospital and made a full recovery. While a grieving son almost
So did he get a guilty verdict?
managed to kill his father's murderer, what happens when a defendant gets chased by the victim's family? Like in the case of Paul Wade, who's at the Jefferson County Justice Center in Louisville, Kentucky for an arraignment. 3 weeks earlier, police found the bodies of 26-year-old Edward Smith and 24-year-old Alexis McCrary shot dead in the Russell neighborhood.
R.I.P.
After going through surveillance footage from the area, they arrested 31-year-old Paul Wade. Wade, who was already out on probation, was charged with 2 counts of murder and possession of a handgun by a convicted felon.
So probation is not a deterrent anymore? The fact that you're literally have one last shot at being a regular human being was not enough? Does probation just not scare people?
Now in court, Wade's hearing was presided over by Judge Ann Haney. She had an 8th grader shadowing her who wanted to be a judge one day.
After she sees what's gonna go on, I'm pretty sure she's gonna just change her focus point. She's probably gonna become a scientist or something like, you know, more cool, more friendly.
Sitting in the gallery were the 2 victims' family members, who immediately...
Plus, is that not a little too deep for an 8th grader? You're looking at a courtroom where people have murdered people. I don't know if I would introduce that to somebody that young.
got off on the wrong foot with the court deputy.
Mr. Eggert is retained on
Quiet in courtroom.
vacation.
Okay, hold on.
One more outburst, and I will walk you.
Ma'am, you're gonna have to leave the courtroom. You have to.
You can't expect a courtroom to not talk, because I know I would have yapped my ass off. I would have been clowning him from the seat. I don't care. I'm talking about how chopped you are, how disgusting you are. It don't matter.
We all family.
Okay, y'all got to not talk. Okay. No talking in the courtroom.
Yes, ma'am.
That's all. Go ahead.
After a short disruption, the hearing went underway.
Okay, let's get it.
Hold on, I've got someone who doesn't have a lawyer.
With your broke ass.
Yes.
Since Wade's attorney was not present, Judge Haney rescheduled for a later date.
Do you want an opportunity to hire Mr. Eggert?
Yes, ma'am.
You do?
Yes, ma'am.
You think it's realistic that will happen?
Yes, ma'am.
Who's Mr. Edward? Is he like a top 6-figure attorney we don't know about?
And I will give you to November 1st.
As Wade was being removed from the courtroom, he uttered an expletive towards those sitting in the gallery.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh. What did he say?
Suddenly, chaos erupted.
Yeah, I heard the term B-A-N. I ain't gonna say it, but GG's. Saying anything knowing that you're guilty like that to a family that's sad is insane. Like, if you were innocent, you're clearly not gonna say anything because you know you didn't do it. Yo, that 8th grader is never gonna forget this.
Triggered a chain of events where several family members hopped over the railing and went after the defendant. 4 of them chased Wade through an open door right behind the judge's bench as Judge Haney and the terrified 8th grader watched helplessly. The judge then hit the panic button and yelled for help. More deputies arrived and used pepper spray to defuse the situation. Even Judge Haney had to step down from the bench to help.
Now what is her 90-year-old ass gonna do? If she gonna just sit down and just chill, she gonna break her hip or something. Let's be real.
I can't help you. The best thing I can do is just stay calm.
In the end, 4 people were arrested and charged with disorderly conduct and obstructing governmental operations. 2 of them faced additional charges of assault and resisting arrest. While Paul Wade's court hearing totally...
It's kind of insane that you could get jail time for trying to defend somebody that was taken away from you. Yeah, that's just unfortunate.
went out of control. How does it compare to getting punched by the victim's brother?
Huh?
Like in the case of 33-year-old Jeffrey Clark, who's facing first-degree premeditated...
Like, what you posing like this for, bruh? If you don't sit your face straight. Premeditated murder. Look at his Mr. Potato-ass features, bro. Those ears look changeable. Like, I could just pluck them out of you and then just place it in your nostril or something. Every mugshot that I've seen in this video is literally hideous.
Murder charges in Fraser, Michigan. On July 4th, 2022, Clark shot and killed 28-year-old Jeray Robertson in execution style.
What does that mean?
Chasing him.
What is execution style? Is that like 1800s?
Down an apartment complex parking lot.
This was an execution. Just wasn't a murder, an execution.
What's the difference?
The man was pleading for his life.
Oh.
The doorbell camera captured the moment Robertson was shot.
As the victim runs for his life, he's now in the city of Fraser.
Clark was arrested after an ankle monitor he was wearing placed him at the crime scene.
Your Honor, at the time, the defendant had a tether on his ankle. We do have the tether records that place him at that location at that time.
At his trial, Clark's girlfriend testified that the defendant threatened her after the shooting.
He proceeded to tell me that he would kill me if I told on him. He told me exactly what he did to Mr. Robertson. He told me that Mr. Robertson begged for his life, and that the only thing he was worried about was that he was on tether.
But what did you gain from bragging about that? Yeah, that man was actually begging for his life. Like, of course he is. Wouldn't any logical person do that if they knew they were gonna end up...
When the prosecution played a video showing the judge and family members how Robertson was executed, the courtroom exploded.
If I'm the victim's family member, of course I'm gonna go crazy. Especially if I found out that the victim was pleading for his life. Yeah. Wait, why is the prisoner getting more punches off? This is not right. Why you got a wedgie that high for it? Who are you trying to intimidate? You're literally a murderer. Like, you're a terrible piece of shit.
Man, they gonna see you.
Who is?
Sitting in the gallery watching his brother beg for his life was Robertson's twin, Jerry, who got into a brawl with the defendant.
Damn.
Jerry also clashed with Clark's father, who was upset his killer son got punched.
You don't hit, you hit him. Man, he killed us. Put him in there with my son. Go ahead. Put him in there.
But that old man. Knock it off.
Why are you defending your son when you just seen him in 4K being a murderer? Yo, he probably did something in the past too.
After order was restored, Clark was convicted of first-degree murder, felony firearm,
Give him life.
and felon in possession of a firearm.
Life.
He was sentenced to life in prison
Good.
with no hope for parole.
Good.
While Jeffrey Clark was attacked by his victim's twin brother, what happens when a victim's brother charges at the defendant? Like in the case of Tristan Lamoreaux, who is facing murder charges in Cedar City, Utah. In 2009, Lamoreaux reportedly shot his wife, 19-year-old Misty.
19 years old, bro. She didn't even get a chance to really live life. Like, she was probably getting out of high school. How selfish do you gotta be to end someone's life that early?
Several times in the head. instantly killing her. When police arrived, they found Misty's body in the bathroom and arrested Lamoreaux after he tried to flee the scene. Instead of going to trial, the 24-year-old pleaded guilty to first-degree murder. Now at his sentencing, Misty's brother Jason Wilson was called to the podium to deliver his victim impact statement. The situation became more and more tense as Wilson spoke about the impact his sister's murder had on his family. An emotional Wilson then turned his attention towards the defendant, even making a step towards him.
That's like the perfect angle to attack somebody.
The court
I wonder what they were
cautiously
saying.
stepped in after sensing Wilson becoming increasingly overcome with emotion. But the grieving brother had...
You should have did it nonchalantly, like should have just acted like nothing was wrong. Then just hit him with a quick switch. Bop! Just a slight motion like that. No one would have expected it. You probably would have gotten at least a 3-punch combo, would have knocked him out clean.
Other ideas.
Wow, okay. That was some crazy pushback.
As the bailiffs approached him, Wilson ran behind the attorney's table and tried to take a swing at Lamoreaux.
Did he get it?
Before he could reach the defendant, the bailiff sprang into action and tackled both Wilson and Lamoreaux to the ground. Wilson was restrained and removed from the courtroom. He faced no additional charges. After the dust settled, the courtroom was put back in order and the sentencing continued.
Look at him still vibing on the chair like that.
Actually,
like nothing is
Lamoreaux
wrong.
was sentenced to 15 years to life in prison.
15 only? Are you serious? What? That's a 19-year-old we're talking about. Give him the death penalty. And why is his ears purple? Yo, everyone in this video has horrible ears.
Prison for his wife. While Tristan Lamoreaux felt a grieving brother's fury. What happens when a victim's daughter can't control her emotions in court? Like in the case of 25-year-old Tevin Maryweather, who was facing murder charges in DeKalb County, Georgia. Police said that in June 2019, Maryweather got into an argument with 34-year-old Myron Pierce at a gas station off Glenwood Avenue. The fight escalated into a physical altercation, with Maryweather ending up shooting Pierce several times.
What altercation could happen for you to just end somebody's life, especially one that you don't know? I don't care if you took the last tank. I'm not gonna end you for that.
Instantly killing the beloved father. Now, at a bond hearing, Pierce's 15-year-old daughter, Tashia Campbell, was sitting in the gallery as the defense attorney argued on behalf of his client. This is when the distraught daughter lost it.
Age daughter couldn't take it. You see there, deputies had to remove her from the courtroom. Channel 2 station.
I don't mean to be that guy, but realistically, what was she gonna do? That's how you know someone is so overcome with anger and sadness, when they start lashing out to someone that they know they can't really beat up.
Overwhelmed with grief, Campbell lashed out at Maryweather before charging towards the defendant. Thankfully, deputies grabbed Campbell in the nick of time and removed her from the courtroom. After order was restored, the judge denied bond and sent Maryweather back to prison.
Anyways, YouTube, let me know which scenario you thought was the worst. Make sure you guys join us on Twitch and Discord. Like, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about this video. Waxer for life. Love y'all. Stay safe.